So, there seem to be a lot of people who are dogging water fasting lately, and there was the whole riff with Lauren Lockman, and a bunch of people were talking smack about him, so I just wanted to come out with my opinion on the whole water fasting thing so you guys understand. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions, misunderstandings, false rumors, and sort of things have been said about water fasting. But then I guess there's a lot of people who sort of like attempt it but do it wrong and give it a bad name. So personally, I have never undertaken a water fast. I've studied a lot about it. I've met people and talked with some people who've done them in depth. I've met with Dr. Goldhamer. I ask him questions all the time. So I've developed an interest in it. And so I kind of wanted to talk about my perspective and sort of set the record straight on a few things that some people don't seem to get. So number one, fasting is not primarily for weight loss. I think you can do it in some situations, but it's mainly for healing all sorts of conditions that are otherwise incurable or unhealable. And this includes, like, being on a raw food diet for a long time. I think some people think, oh, if you just go vegan and you go whole food vegan, or it's like, my friend went vegan and her eczema cleared up, so nobody needs to do a water fast. It's not as simple as that. There are people who are suffering with really bad conditions that have been helped by water fasts. And I'm going to go through the literature in another video because there's a limited amount of scientific published information out there, and we'll kind of go through it and talk about why there isn't so much and how there could be more. But the main thing is that fast is a rest. It's like rebooting of the hard drive. And it's not something you can work and do at the same time. It's not something you can exercise doing it. You're in bed, you're resting, and that's the only thing you're doing if it's going to be a successful water fast. People who try to do one over the weekend, or like, oh, I'm water fasting to like cleanse while I work and all this stuff, like, you're causing yourself more harm than good. So number one, you got to be resting while you're doing it. Number two, it's got to be supervised. It's not something you can do on your own. Do not do an unsupervised fast. Absolutely terrible idea. And so it's got to be supervised. And it's got to be water only, because even if you're having like lemon water, your body's still going to be able to burn that, and you're not going to really get into the ketosis. And so it's really something you need to set aside time for. It's not easy to have like a block of time, a week or 2 weeks or a whole month where you have no obligations and don't have to work or, go to school, and you can still, cover all your bills and all stuff like that. So it's something you really have to set aside time for, and it's like some people, like Dan McDonald, saying, "Oh, I water fast like 1 day a week." You're not going to get the effects of a true water fast by like not eating for a day. So that being said, you go into ketosis, and the body essentially starts to handle all the things that it never really had time to do because you were throwing food at it all the time, which is perfectly normal. But this is where we see the reversal of a lot of autoimmune conditions like lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. If you guys know my friend Janelle, she healed endometriosis, which is a really bad autoimmune condition, on this diet, on doing a fast and then subsequently following the 80-10-10 diet. And I know that my friend Alicia, who made this shirt, she had all kinds of issues with intolerances where she couldn't even eat greens at one point because every time she did, her eyes would flare up, and she was down to maybe like 3 or 4 fruits that she could eat without problems. And after she did a water fast, all that got cleared up, and so she could, eat 80-10-10 normally. But she had all kinds of issues coming into the diet, and got healed by a lot of things by the diet, but still had some problems, did a fast, and is now doing fantastic. Oh, you would like some attention? Someone mentioned that there weren't enough puppies in my video anyway, so say hi, Chloe. Hi, everybody. I love water fasts. Water fasts are really good for you as long as they're supervised. So, that's my opinion on water fast. It can be a great healing thing. I think the only reason you would want to do it to lose weight is if you're severely food addicted and you can't get onto a healthy eating program, which I would consider, something like a whole food plant-based diet, regardless of percentage of raw or cooked. I think if you're there, I think that's sort of the baseline of a healthy diet is fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, grains, all whole foods. So if you can't get there, the other main benefit of a water fast is that it resets your palate. So that you see these videos of people eating watermelon for the first time after having fasted for 30 days, and it's like their mind is blown. They're like shaking in their chair after like one bite. And so we see this, that people's taste buds reset, and all of a sudden food that may have tasted bland without being drowned in like salt, oil, and sugar now actually tastes appealing as it should. And so they come back, and then they can get on a healthy program because the food ends up tasting good to them, whereas before it tasted like mush, it tasted bland. So I think fasting for weight loss is good in that situation, but definitely if you're just some person and you want to like lose a quick 20 pounds, starving yourself at home unsupervised is not the way to go, because ultimately you want to use the fast as a vehicle to get on a healthy regimen if you're not on one already, or maybe you're mostly raw, some cooked, but you want to get on all raw for whatever reason. A water fast is a great way to facilitate that. I know that my friend Janelle said she had all kinds of problems sticking to the 80-10-10 program before she did a water fast, and now it's been like a year and a half, and she hasn't had a drop of cooked food and just enjoys every minute of it. So that's my opinion on water fasting, and I'll make another video on the literature.